At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and it's that time of the week when we talk about the worst things in comics. This week we're going to talk about Nightwing 72, also known as Nightwing 72, and then we're also going to talk about the recent capitulation by Dynamite Comics to the mob. And I just want to warn you first, if you don't like salty language, if you don't like extreme amounts of sarcasm, this is likely not the video for you. But if you enjoy that stuff, please stick around. And if it's your first time, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. You're probably going to enjoy this. This is a segment that we do every Tuesday called Worst of the Week. And I think right here on Thinking Critical, we have a lot of content that you are going to like. But now it's time to get back to the worst things of the week. And for that, I've got the curmudgeon of critical, the salty dog himself, Just Pele. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I had a slice of pizza. It's pretty good. It's good pizza. A little pizzeria in town. But I have a feeling
time to turn that smile upside down.
Yeah, that's not going to last long. So
no, not really. So I made a mistake this week, Pele. So I'm sitting there. I haven't been reading Nightwing since the second or third issue of Dan Jurgens' run because it was just awful. It was just more of the same of what Scott Lobdell was doing. Ric Grayson is an abomination, and I hate the character. I'm just putting it out there. I don't like the character. I don't like that version of the character. I said, you know what? I know Nightwing is coming back. Dick Grayson will be realized again in issue 75 of Nightwing. We got Joker War starting. Obviously, I'm going to be reviewing Batman 95 this next week. I know Nightwing's going to play a part in it. Maybe I should go read Nightwing 72 Journey to Joker War and get caught back up.
No, bad idea.
It was a terrible idea. I was just reminded about what an absolute train wreck, what an abomination Ric Grayson is to anyone that enjoys Nightwing, to anyone that has contributed to the fabric of Dick Grayson, and what an amazing character. In my opinion, the second best character in DC Comics. This is my personal favorites. Certainly not the most iconic, but just a wonderful character that you can really, one of the few characters in DC Comics you can really relate to. A very relatable character. A lot of the big characters in DC, you can't do that. And I can't relate to Ric Grayson because he's such a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, that's the problem. All of these shitty runs that we've been having with either Nightwing, Superman, Action Comics, all the really shitty stuff coming out right now. You have to wait until the actual creative team is gone, because they're not going to improve no matter what's on the horizon, no matter what's going to be coming out. They're not going to improve. You're going to have to wait for somebody that's better to actually come in before your book is decent again. And this is proven time and time and time again. It didn't get any better under King. Didn't get any better under the various other crappy writers that seems to be proliferating in Marvel and DC stables. Until they actually turn the reins over, the book is fucked. It's awful. And this proves it yet again. And I don't know what's happened to Dan Jurgens. He used to be a decent writer. It's just terrible.
I think it's Ric Grayson. I don't think anyone can take that chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad. Just my opinion. From what I'm told, this is one of the better issues of Nightwing recently. That's how terrible Nightwing has been. Wow. And this is like a big recap issue. It kind of catches you up just in case you hadn't been reading Nightwing, because nobody's been reading Nightwing. And it kind of gets you caught up on why Nightwing thinks he's Joker's son or whatever. And we get this big recap, and you're just reminded of all the bullshit that they put this character through, whether it be being shot in the head and becoming an amnesiac, denying Dick Grayson and the legacy of that character because he doesn't want to be a superhero. Yeah. Then 4 random people decide they're Nightwing, and you have the Nightwing's team, and then he becomes a vigilante so he could be their understudy, even though he's the actual Nightwing. So that made a whole lot of sense. And then, of course, he was like hypnotized, brainwashed, whatever the fuck that was, by the Court of Owls. So he became Talon or whatever. And apparently he's not that anymore. But now he's been hypnotized, brainwashed by Joker. His girlfriend, supposedly his girlfriend, who's madly in love with him, didn't even realize that Joker had brainwashed him, even though he had a maniacal smile on his face and couldn't stop talking about chocolate-covered fucking pancakes. Never heard that from Dick Grayson or Ric Grayson. it was just turds on a page is what it was, Pele.
Pitiful. We were talking about Punchline earlier. This is awful character. I just can't. I don't understand the hype and everything like this around. Yeah, okay, it's Joker's new girlfriend. Everybody thinks it's going to be the new Harley Quinn. No, it's not. You know, this is just, you know, sadistic, twisted, stupid person who there's not a new beat involved here. There's no newness to this character at all. It's basically take Harley, take all the humor out of Harley, and you have Punchline. And who cares? It's just, this sucks. It sucks so bad.
Well, people, I guess, enjoy the character design and everything. She certainly looks somewhat interesting, I guess. And, of course, she does show up here at the end and assert her dominance. And I'm with you, man. I'm already fucking worn out with this character. I was reading Batman. She's already, like, outsmarted Catwoman. And then she basically kills Harley Quinn, who I don't like. So I almost thought that was a good move. But, you know, she took her down with extreme ease, cut her right in the jugular. And then this one, she's sitting on a rooftop. You know, Ric Grayson, Nightwing, in his new vigilante costume or whatever, is sitting there with Babs. Punchline shows up, and she decides she's going to fight Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, one-on-one. Defeats her in about half a page. You know, stabs her through the leg, has a dagger to her throat, and is about to cut her head off before Ric Grayson intervenes. And I just hate that. They're sacrificing these wonderful, great established characters just so they can get fucking Punchline over. She was already over because she was a new character associated with Joker. And she's already overpowered. How long did it take for Harley Quinn to become overpowered? Like 5 or 6 years?
Yeah. This is Gotham Girl syndrome. You know, it's like, oh, we've got this new female character, and she's got to be the most badass of all. And it happened with Gotham Girl, and now it's happening again. It just seems to always happen in the Batverse. You know, it's where we get these extreme characters that, you know, for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that, oh, it's a new female character, she's got to be the most badass, and it's just, it's tired and old, and they just keep doing it over and over. It's just the same.
No, it's a rehash of the same stuff. I'll be shocked if she doesn't have Bruce Wayne's nuts in a sack tied on her belt by the end of Joker War, just as a souvenir, so he knows his place in the fucking Batman universe. It's below her.
She'll tell him some sad story about her childhood or something. Batman will cry, and she'll kick him in the nuts and laugh at him. You know, and then, you know, da-da. Yeah, some stupid shit like that. It'll be ridiculous.
The Gelding of the Bat is going to be an amazing story arc and probably going to sell out for months.
Ugh, sad. Pitiful.
And then the worst part is the very end. I imagine some people thought this was cool, but if you're a Nightwing fan, you certainly didn't. Ric Grayson says to Punchline, he pulls her off and is like, listen, Batgirl is my kill. Obviously, you know, it's not like Barbara Gordon's meant anything to Ric Grayson, Nightwing, or anything like that. So now it's time for him to murder her. And then he takes her blood that's on Punchline's blade, puts it on his mouth like he's Joker. We get this wonderful visual, just beautiful visual of the complete destruction and bastardization of one of the greatest creations in DC Comics history, Nightwing, who's just been absolutely obliterated for 2 years straight, Pele. This isn't like one thing that's happened. This is just a continuation of a complete train wreck, just horrendous treatment of a wonderful character, just destroying the characters, destroying any fans that want to read a Nightwing comic. I'm not going back. I don't care if Nightwing is coming, Ric Grayson's coming back in issue 75. I'm fucking done with it. I'm not coming back till Dan Jurgens is off. And I like Dan Jurgens. He's a great writer, but fuck this. I'm not coming back for more. He's only contributed to the problem.
Yeah, it's the regular and constant systemic debasement of the characters we love from DC. And it's happened over and over. It happened with Batman. It happened with Superman. God, super cuck. And now it's happened with Ric Grayson. It's going to proliferate all through DC. You know, every single male character is going to have to kiss the ring. It's going to have to take a knee. They're all going to have to be torn down and made into inferior, lesser things. And that's what we're seeing. You know, this is just another notch on the belt, and it's over. You know, it's just
I called him Nightwing earlier, but I certainly could call him Nightcuck. just to keep him with theme. And of course, the one big character at DC that hasn't been lowered, you could say she's been elevated, because now she's the first superhero in DC Comics is Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 750. Right. So I don't know, Pele. You say there's an agenda. I'm not convinced, but you got my mind racing here.
It's got to be an agenda. It's the destruction of toxic masculinity, and it's ridiculous. And it's more social justice buzzwords from the tired, uncreative left who they just want power, they want control, and they want to destroy everything that people love so that they can get that control. And they're doing that with comics just like they've done with all the other popular fandoms out there. And will it survive? Will comics survive? I don't know. I really don't know. And at this point, I'm just sick of these characters. I'm sick of what they've done, and reaching a point to where I just don't even care with new comics anymore.
I don't know if you can actually make a case that Dick Grayson exemplifies any type of toxic masculinity. I would love to debate you, because that's absolutely a ridiculous charge, or even a ridiculous thought process. But we do have other things to talk about here, Pele. I've had enough talking about fuck Nightwing, fuck Night Cuck. Yeah. Let's talk about Dynamite Entertainment. Obviously, I talked to Brian Ball from Rags a couple of days ago. We talked about how the mob was coming after Dynamite, specifically the CEO, Nick Barucci, because he had donated to a live stream for thought criminals, and then he had allowed someone that was a thought criminal to give him money and put a cover on one of his old comic books and sell it on Indiegogo.
Terrible.
So he made money for doing absolutely nothing. So he could go and pay Mark Russell, who's obviously not bringing in the dough for Dynamite, go pay Gail Simone some money for all the sales that she's not going on. Somebody's got to pay these creators. It's certainly not going to happen off the comic books they're selling. But Pele, the mob has won out.
Yep. Yeah.
Nick Barucci apologized. They are no longer doing the cover. The thought criminals are gone, and things are like they're supposed to be, where the comic pros, the comic book establishment can now say, we've weeded out some more people we don't like, or don't like the way they think.
They bitched out, and Dynamite's bitched out, and just like all the others. And I've had it. I've actually had it. I've worked with Dynamite on different projects. We've done some stuff at the shop. We've done a couple signings with them. No, I'm not bothering with it anymore. I'm not saying I'm going to pull their comics from the shelves. I'm not saying I'm not going to carry their comics, but I'm not going to go out of my way to help them anymore either. I'm not going to go out of my way to try to make things better for them. They obviously, are too chicken shit to actually stand up for themselves and stand up for the creators and the people that are actually trying to help them succeed. No, they want to go running to the people who do free, basically free giveaways, like Gail Simone and other people who don't even read the fucking comics. They don't even read Dynamite. They don't buy Dynamite comics. What they do is they make fun of Dynamite because of all the scantily clad women. They're not buying those. They're not going to buy those books anyway. And then when the Dynamite decides, well, we want to work with somebody that's outside of the woke mob, the woke mafia. Oh, that's problematic. We have to cancel you now. And no, this is it. I'll carry the books. I'll carry what people want to subscribe to. I'm not going to bother with getting more for back issues and stuff like that. It's stupid. It's not worth it. The company's not going to be around much longer with this rate anyway. So why bother? If you're wanting to get into Dynamite comic thinking that, oh, this looks like a good place to jump on, don't bother. They're cutting their own throats, and they're probably not going to be around a whole lot longer anyway. It's sad, but it's true. The comics that you used to like from them, they're not going to be around. The comics that had, like Sexy Vampirella or Red Sonja, they're not going to be around in a year, because the people who were making those things are going to be suddenly very problematic, even if they aren't part of Comicsgate or any part of any, problematic group or anybody like that. They're going to be problematic simply because of the subject material they make, and they're going to be gone. And then you're going to have the same old worthless Portland Mafia style idiots that are going to come over and take over those comics and take over those properties and make them shitty, because they always make things more shitty. And
well, I don't know about them not being here in a year. I will say this. I looked into the PPP loans, the ones that were reported, of all the publishers that took money, and there was a lot of them. I would say most of them that you could think of, the bigger publishers. Dynamite didn't, as far as I know, unless it was under 150,000, which would have been a small amount, which makes me think their finances maybe were in a better place than some others.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Nick Barucci, the CEO of Dynamite, he's obviously the leader there. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to do business with Cecil, and then he decides not to do business with Cecil because he wants to capitulate to the mob, that is his choice. That is his choice as a businessman. But I will say this, I'm not going to read. Of course, I'm not going to give up reading Dynamite comics because Nick Barucci bent the knee. Whatever. That is his choice. He obviously knows what's best for his business. But I will say, I told you so. The next time the mob decides to descend upon him because he didn't show any spine and he couldn't back up the project that he obviously thought was a good idea at one point.
It's already happening. It's already happening now. It's already happening with it. As soon as he did that, he goes, well, then you need to go through the process of how you ended up backing Cecil the first place, because, some people need to be fired. I'm already seeing the SJWs circling. I'm already seeing the buzzards overhead. They're already like, and you need to make sure that nobody on your staff, does that again. And then the woke people are wagging their fingers at him and said, yeah, now that we've got you down on the floor, we're going to make sure that you capitulate on everything we want. And it's already happening. You read the Twitter thread. It's unmistakable. It's they opened.
I'm going to be honest, Pele.
They allowed this.
I read the one tweet. I'm not going to read the whole Twitter thread because it's a waste of my time. I told you so, Nick Barucci. When you give in to the mob, you're just asking for the mob to come back. And they're just not going to leave you alone now, and they're going to try and dictate how you can run your business. And that's the way it works in today's cancel culture, in today's society. When you give in to the Twitter mob, you've basically given them kind of power over your business and how you can conduct it. I don't feel bad for him about that. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but in my opinion, he kind of asked for it through his actions. And as the leader of that company, it is in his right and his responsibility to take those actions. So it was his duty to make a decision. He made a decision, but it's also, it's on him to take the repercussions. And I'm sorry, sir, but you're not going to be running your business very long. You're going to be run by a Twitter hate mob. Congratulations.
They
this
own
is the way it works.
No, their balls are in his purse. His balls are in their purse. He isn't going to be able to make any real decisions from now on without having clearance from them. And that's just the way it is. He's let them control him, and and it's sad too, because it's just a few activists on Twitter. This isn't real life.
Well, it was more than that. It was a bunch of his creators.
That's a big deal. He can find other people that'll work on some of the half-assed comics that they put out. But the problem is now that he's going to have to cede complete creative control on everything going forward. And I saw some of the creators that were whining and bitching about it. They're people that sell like 5,000, 6,000 issues. Well, anyway, they're bargain basement type creators now. Gail Simone doesn't do anything that's worth a damn now anyway. Her years are way long past when she wrote a decent comic book. Now they've done this to themselves, and you get what you fucking deserve. And unfortunately, they're going to open the door to this, and they're going to get what they deserve on it.
Well, I don't know if they deserve it, but he certainly is going to get what he asked for. Because, like I said, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. That is absolutely terrible. I would not want the psychos on Twitter coming after me. It wouldn't be a very fun experience. They make life a living hell. And that's kind of the point. The reason that they do that is so that you acquiesce, so that you give up, and you let them take control. And that's basically what happened now. Pele, do you have anything else to say on this one? I think Cest La Vie. You know what I'm saying?
It's, it was a good run. It was a good run. I unlike, I know some people complained about it, but I really did like I did like Christopher Priest's run on Vampirella.
You should keep reading it then. If it's a good comic, it's a good comic.
But the bottom line is that I can tell now that the quality is going to drop. Because there's going to be people that are going to find something problematic, and it's not going to be get approved by the mob. So don't be surprised when your favorite Dynamite books go to shit, because the shit has now entered the building.
Well, we shall see. Probably going to take a few months before all this kind of kicks in, but yeah, that's the way it goes. All right, Paley. I think that's going to do it for Worst of the Week. Did you have anything else that you needed to say?
No, I'm just pissed again.